to say goodbye.
It's hard to say I miss you.
The time of love
Is a gruesome cruise.
I need you now, dear Lord.
The mental health burden continues to increase, and people are facing various challenges as they are dealing with issues that they face in life. Welcome to the show, Painful Goodbyes. I am Skombozo Duve. Joining us is Thandeka Ndlovu. Welcome to the show.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Today we are discussing a very important topic that deals with mental health. People may love to know who Thandeka is.
Okay, as you have said, my name is Thandeka Ndlovu, Moyo. I love my maiden surname. I'm a journalist by profession. Yeah, I love writing. I think I've been writing ever since I was a teenager. And I'm married to one man of his with one child, and yeah, I think that's me. That's me in a nutshell. Okay. And I'm a Christian, of course, yeah. Okay. I think I have to mention that I'm a Christian because my mental health journey, is, yeah, you see why I had to mention that I'm a Christian, yes.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. And being a journalist, I know your accolades. Maybe you can just take us through the accolades that you have.
Okay, so I can safely say I'm one of the multi-award-winning journalists in Zimbabwe. I think I've been winning awards since 2011 when I was doing my attachment at the Chronicle. And I think we're at award 16 or 17. I think I've lost count, but yeah, that's where we are at the moment. So yeah, it's been a tough journey. I've learned a lot. But I think God has really smiled on me when it comes to, work-related issues. I've been doing so well, and yes, I have those awards to my name. So yeah, yeah.
So as a journalist, what stories have made you to get there?
Okay, so naturally, I'm passionate about health and women and development. So I write anything, related to those lines, but I think most of my awards are related to maternal health and other health stories that are not necessarily maternal health. So yeah, basically gender-based violence and developmental stories basically. But I love writing about health. I feel like, we still need more information on health. We still need to empower people with information that they need so that they can lead healthy lifestyles. So I think that's why I'm focused on that. So I can say I'm a health journalist, basically. I'm a health journalist.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. That's coupled with the love for writing from the very tender age. And now this other health side. Where is it coming from?
Growing up as a child, I remember at one time I really wanted to be a doctor. Okay. So, yeah, I wanted to be a doctor when I grew up, but somewhere in life, what can I say? I had to divert, okay? Life gave me lemons and I had to make many liters of lemonade. And that's how I found myself as a journalist. So health is a passion. I've always been passionate about health. So I realized, okay, so I can't be a doctor. I can't, do anything medical professionally, but I think I could still use that passion and fuse it with my writing skills, to still empower people and, ensure that they are healthy and that they lead healthy lifestyles.
I should suppose there are instances when you have written a story and that story has helped someone with a medical condition. Can you talk about that?
Oh yes, I've written many stories. I've lost count, but part of my job also includes doing stories for appeal. I'm not so sure if you've read those ones, where maybe you have someone with a heart condition, or maybe a rare condition, or maybe just, these normal conditions that we have that are prevalent in Zimbabwe, but they do not have the funds, they do not have the money that is needed for them to get the appropriate health care. So that's why I come in as a journalist. I'm the voice of the voiceless. So my job is just to write that story, and evoke emotions, and, try and, use words to get help for the person in need. So I've written quite a number of stories where someone say, I'm in need of maybe 10,000 USD. I need to go for a kidney transplant. I need to go for a heart, maybe, I don't know, transplant, or, all these conditions. So I just write a story and appeal for help. And then we have like members of public who come up front and say, okay, I read your story. I'm willing to help that person, with this much. Or doctors coming say, we read your story. Would want to chip in. So that gives me joy. That gives me peace. That makes me that helps me sleep better at night. Yeah, basically.
Thank you very much for that kind heart. Please stay tuned. After the break, we'll hear more of this story. Welcome back to the second segment. We are watching the show Painful Goodbyes. I'm with Thandeka, and she's been talking about her journey into journalism. And you've been helping people for quite a while through your pen, and that pen has been very helpful. And when you go to sleep, it's good and it's comforting for you to have helped someone. But you wound up in a place where mentally you were not doing fine. Let's talk about that.
So as I said, my job basically is to be the voice of the voiceless. I enjoy writing about people's experiences and, helping them in every possible way through my stories. But, as I'm growing, I believe I'm still growing, I've realized that sometimes you just get to a point where you are overgiving, or where you indirectly ignore your own needs, and then you find your place in that dark place where there is no one to help you, or where you feel you're helpless. You feel like, okay, people have these expectations of me. I'm supposed to help. I can't stop helping because it what gives me the drive to continue living. But then you're in a place where you're sad, you no longer have motivation, and you're just sinking in this, in this swirl of negativity. So I remember, I think about 4 years ago, I just found myself stressing a lot, just stressed. You're slowly losing interest in what you love doing most. As I said, I love writing. I also love cooking, by the way. So, there are times where you just feel like, oh, okay, I have to write again. Oh, I have to go to work again. And then it starts draining you. And then you realize that, okay, maybe it could be an indicator of something that is not going on well. So, last year, I think sometime in September, I just got a diagnosis from one of the local psychiatrists here in Bulawayo. So this was after I consulted and just told him that, you know what, doctor, I've been struggling with negative thoughts. I'm sad, I feel drained.
Maybe before you went, what really drove you to seek help?
Okay, so as a health journalist, okay, so I've written about depression, I've written about suicide, I've written about stress and all these other mental illnesses. And of course, as you write, you need to read. You can't just write about something and you haven't read. So I've been reading widely on mental health and on concentrating on symptoms. Then you realize, okay. Then you start ticking, but this is me, you're stressed, you're depressed, low self-esteem, you're losing interest in what you love. And then there was a time when, I think sometime last year, I was writing a lot of suicide stories. And then I just got an interest. Why are people killing themselves? Why are people losing hope suddenly? Why is it that, it's just easy for someone to just end their life? And then, I started to learn more about suicide, that, it can happen to anyone, whether you are strong, whether you are rich, anyone could just wake up and kill themselves. And for someone like me, I think when I grew up, I think I'm that bold kind of a person who's always encouraging others, and have many people who look up to me. Nota is strong, she's, when you are stressed, just go to Thandeka, and I also got used to that fact that, people would just come to me for help, they start telling me their stories, they cry, and I help them out because, it was a fulfilling journey for me. But then I realized that, I had no one to go to. Because, people think you are this strong girl, think you are, you can take up anything that life throws at you. It then becomes difficult to then open up and say, guys, do you know that I'm struggling? Do you know that I'm struggling to sleep? Do you know that I'm struggling? Do you know that I'm anxious? Like I've got anxiety issues. Do you know that I'm struggling to deal with the loss of my parents? Because I think it's also one thing that has really contributed to me, losing it mentally. I lost my father when I was in grade 3. That was 98. And then I lost my mother when I was doing Form 4, just before my exams. Yeah, that's when she died. It was 2006. So when my mother died, I remember very well, one of my maternal aunties said, you know what, Sunday, you're about to write exams and you've lost your mother. Don't you think it's good that you go for counseling? And I was like, counseling, whenever the word counseling is said, we're like, counseling is for white people, guys. Why should we do counseling? Why should we? Yeah, after all, we pray. And by the time I was in Form 4, I was already praying. I think I was already a serious Christian. I was praying. My friends would pray, would fast, and also I thought, I got this. I'll cry, but I was like, no, it's fine. I think I can always juggle and move on, after the loss. But I doubt that I gave myself enough time to mourn my mother and, to mourn my parents. And so I think it's something that I just, I took it and put it somewhere in my mind. Say, okay, she's gone. Now I'm an orphan. Now I have to take care of myself. And then the other thing that has also affected me is the fact that I think I'm the only child in my family. So I was the only child. So, sometimes you just feel lonely and you think like, how would be life had my parents maybe had one sibling, I started asking questions. I even went to the extent of asking my paternal grandmother if maybe my father had a child earlier on, or maybe denied responsibility of something, because I had that longing to say, I feel like I'm in a place where no one understands me. And I think maybe a biological sibling could have been, that pillar of strength that I needed. So fast forward to last year, I started feeling sad. And then the breaking point was when I started sympathizing with people who committed suicide. I was under pressure, no hope, I was always stressed. I couldn't even pray, because there's this thing that, sometimes when you try and hint to people that are close to you that you're not coping, they'll say, no, but just pray about this, just pray. So sometimes, I'm trying to hint that, you know what, my friend, I'm not okay. But then you get this, no, be strong, Ta, by faith, you can, you've been through worse things. These two you can take, and then, but you then get to a point where you realize, you know what? Why should I continue living? Why should I continue being in pain? I remember telling someone one day that I felt like I had shed enough tears for my lifetime. I was like, why should I continue crying? Because God, I've been crying. I think I've been crying ever since I lost my father. Of course, people wouldn't know that because...
He's an award-winning journalist, and she's having, I don't know whether I should say suicide thoughts. Break it down for me.
Okay, I can't really say I was having suicidal thoughts, but I started understanding where people who commit suicide were coming from. Okay, so I think this person was justified in a way to take their lives. Then that's when I realized I'd reached a point where I just had to seek help, because all this while I would just comfort myself and say, no, but Tao, you're strong. God is there. He will take care of you. You want to talk about it. You want to seek help, but there's that voice in you that tells you that no, you got this. You're a girl. You've been doing so well. You've been strong. There's no need to show that weaker side or to expose or to be vulnerable. You have that drive that say, no, when you're Moyo, you need to stand and continue, being this brave little girl or brave young man. So when I started sympathizing with those who commit suicide, that's when I realized that no, this is not right, Thandeka. You can't be, even as a journalist, you can't be sympathizing with this. So you really need to get help. So that's when I got my diagnosis, and to the shock of my life, I was told that I have anxiety, I have post-traumatic stress disorder, I have depression, and I have, I think I've forgotten the third one, but it's
avoidance.
Yes, the avoidance disorder, where you teach your mind to deliberately ignore, or avoid dealing with reality, avoid dealing with negativity, avoid addressing maybe someone who could be abusing you. Because I think what really triggered me was I do have some painful childhood memories, but then as I grew up, I started working. You have people in your circle, or you have people that you work with, or you have people around you who somehow abuse you, and then they trigger. They become that trigger that drives you to that dark place where you are helpless, you are stressed, you are depressed, and you just lose all the hope in you. Yes.
Moving out of the doctor's room with that description and that diagnosis.
Yeah, I was like, okay, how did I get here? How do I have 4 mental diseases at one time? Is this really me? I was like, really? Do I have depression? How am I depressed? Am I really anxious? I think I remember calling my friends and asking them to confirm, giving them symptoms and saying, guys, am I really giving you guys these signs? And yeah, I'm glad to say that, I'm blessed. I've a strong support system from the family. So you have people saying, no, but Ta, you're overdoing things. You are really trying to be strong, even when you're not supposed to be strong. You should take a break. You're overworking, you're overstressing, and you're overstretching. So just take a break. It's okay. It's normal to have depression. It's normal to be anxious. It's normal to have those disorders. So I think that's what gave me hope. And in trying to seek answers, I also realized that these 4 diseases were all linked to undealt issues that I went through as a child, growing up, becoming a journalist, working hard, getting married, and all these things. So I realized that I had a lot of baggage that I had to deal with. So that's how I lost it all mentally. Yeah.
Now looking at that, you carried all this into your family, into church, but you were living like a normal person.
Yeah, I think I was trying to put up this brave face. maybe because I've always felt no one would understand. I think from growing up, I was like, okay, so my father is not here, he's dead, okay, and my mother is not here, so I'm all alone. And then you have this, I don't know, this drive that tells you you're on your own, you need to be strong, no one is coming to help you, you don't need to ask for help from anyone because you're on your own, so just be strong, just be strong, just be strong. So, when this spirit, I don't know if it's a spirit, but when this spirit grows in you, it makes you, I don't know, it then becomes hard even for people to reach out to you because they think you are you are coping. They think you're coping. They think you're strong. They think you have everything under control. When in reality, like you are crumbling, you are dying inside, and you are empty. You are empty. You keep on giving out, but you are really like empty inside. Yes.
Thank you, Thandeka. We have Thandeka. She was running on empty, but everyone thought she was full. Please stay tuned for the third and final segment. Welcome back to the third and final segment. We are still with Thandeka, and she's been talking about her mental health journey. And we found out that she had 4 issues that she had to deal with. And I'm wondering from the society, what things really evoke mental anguish?
I think as Black people, we are taught to endure pain and to endure pain silently and to not talk about it. We usually stigmatize talking about your weaknesses, talking about your fears, and even expressing how you feel. Because, sometimes I've had moments where I just wake up wanting my mother. It doesn't mean that my family is not supportive. I've got like a very loving family. They love and support. They give me all the love. But there are days where I just want that dead mother, the one who is not there.
And the voice.
She's the one that I want, yes. Then you hear people say, no, but you're not even an orphan, you're old, you're married, you're winning awards, you are happy, so don't be selfish, don't cry over your dead mother, as if marriage or as if bliss or as if riches can replace her or replace my father. So I think we have this tendency to just trivialize mental issues, which then makes it difficult for one to open up and say, guys, I'm struggling. I miss my mother. Yes, she died 18 years ago, but today I just woke up wanting to cry over my mother. So I think we should just normalize, letting people talk and express themselves when they are not okay, so that they get to that position where they can ask for help without feeling less of themselves.
So thrust into the limelight that you are, sometimes seeking for help may be difficult.
Yes.
But you did. What is your source of strength?
Well, I found help in one of my mentors. So when I got the diagnosis, I realized that, I need counseling, I need therapy. It was very difficult to get to the point where I said that, okay, Thandeka, you have issues, you need help. But, I eventually got to that point where I reached out, and he was there as a mentor, as someone who has been praying for me and, encouraging me. So he was there and happy to take me through the whole journey. So that's how I started my counseling sessions. I started opening up. I started dealing with my skeletons. I started, dealing with issues, I think that date back to when I was 3. That's when I realized, okay, so I've been carrying loads of negativity and things that hurt me ever since I was 3 years old. That should be 92. I think that's as far as I can remember. So I had to face reality and to deal with my demons, to to be able to recover and get to a place where I feel normal and happy again.
So if you were to speak to younger Thandeka, what were you going to say to her?
I'd say, dear Thandeka, normalize speaking out, normalize asking for help, because in as much as you are this bold person, you have this, you're strong, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say I can't. It's okay to say, guys, I'm not coping, and be normal and, be this happy and bubbly girl. There's nothing wrong with saying you need help. Yeah. Yeah. And there's no need to overperform, because, sometimes when you feel like you're on your own, you have this drive to say you can't fail. I think that's what also drove me into this insanity, because you put yourself under pressure that, what, I can't fail at this, because what will happen of me? I have no one. I can't fail at school. I owe it to myself. I have no one. So it's okay to fail. It's okay to not cope. It's okay to, it's okay to just be not okay. It's fine, not to be okay. Yeah.
So what would be your final words?
Okay, I would like to say that I think we should normalize talking about what hurts us. We should normalize telling people how we feel. We should normalize talking about even those issues that we feel, I can't talk about this. I'm a pastor. I can't tell people that I fear. I'm a journalist. Everyone thinks, you're a journalist, you write, you mingle with the big people. But it's still okay to be an award-winning journalist and cry. It's still okay to be an award-winning journalist and fail to write a story. I've been writing, I don't know for how many years, but it's still okay to fail at what you usually do. And I think it's good to always be connected to God and play with people who make it easy for you to be vulnerable. Because if you always associate with people who think you should be strong, you should not break down, you should, they've got this to-do list for you, it then becomes difficult for you to reach out and say, guys, I'm stuck, I'm failing, yes, I'm not coping. So you should always associate with people who make it easy for you to be yourself, even on those bad days, because we all have those bad days. And I think it's normal for us to have a bit of everything. You can't just have a flowing life, everything is good. You have those dark moments where you just need to sit back and let other people feed you and let other people help you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. There you have it, friends. It is okay not to be okay. And mental health is a real challenge that we are facing. For me, Thandeka, and the crew behind the scenes, it's a wrap.
It's painful to say.